Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Olympian Table. I'm James Lee, and we have one of our internal partners, Aaron Thomas, joining us from the title world. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right, man. How y'all doing this morning?
Man, we're hanging in here, man. You know, you always got a seat at the table, and we can get you in when you're not too busy for it.
I'm trying not to be, man, but it's you see the rates, man. What's going on out there in the world?
Hey, I know, man. People are doing and running and gunning and taking care of business. So you gotta make sure that you're taking some time to connect with those that we have those relationships with. So we bring Aaron in because he's a wealth of knowledge in his space. But this morning, of course, we want to bring him in and just talk about some of the stuff that we talk about.
Yeah, it's good to
get
his
be here.
Opinion
on it, right?
Yeah, we got some stuff we're going to talk about today.
We got some stuff, man. Yeah. But hey, you just got back from Belize, though, right?
I got back I went to Belize for a week. So my wife's family, so in-laws, everyone's actually from Belize.
Oh, okay.
She and her family are she and her parents are pretty much the only ones that are in the U.S. The rest of her family's in Belize, so they're spread out. So we got to go to the beach. We went to the rainforest. They have if you haven't been to Belize, check it out. They got a little bit of everything. Got some Mayan ruins. They got some rainforest. You can see a toucan. Might see a leopard somewhere, and they got beaches. Obviously, that's what they're known for. But we did all that and saw some family members and ate some home cooked food while we were there.
Oh, that's the thing, man. You get to stay with family. You kind of immersed in the whole Belizean culture.
It's the whole culture, man. When I wake up in the morning, I usually don't like to eat in the morning, but man, they were just making me eat. So I'm I guess I was on vacation. So, but yeah, you get they have red rice. It's a different culture. If you've ever been to Belize, check it out. And definitely, I would go to the beach and the islands, but also, find out about what's going on because they have the Mayan culture. They have,
right.
They also have Rastafarians. They have, Hispanic culture. It's a interesting mixing pot of people there. So
that's cool. That is one that I haven't visited Belize yet. We do Costa Rica and some of the other surrounding areas. It kind of has similar. Honduras and that kind of deal. But Belize is one that's on our list to visit.
It's a big spot for scuba divers, and they have the reef, and they have the big blue hole. Which is you've seen it on pictures and whatnot, and they have, they have a little bit of everything. So it's a good vacation spot, good food. Lobster season. It was lobster season.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah, lobster's not $60 a tail there. So
I can imagine.
So it was fun. We had a good time.
Good deal, man. Well, we're glad you're here to talk at the table with us. Because this is what we do. We just kind of talk about what's going on in the world. So
ready.
First things first, so we're in the Olympics. That's the where we are now, of course. And I think this is kind of one of those years where it kind of saves us because, man, once the NBA Finals finishes and you got that little boring section in the summertime where there's nothing going on, even though viewership is down on the Olympics, that's some stuff, kind of been some drama, so to speak, going on. So the women's soccer team lost in trying to accomplish their feat. I don't know. The basketball team for the women's are doing well, as I understand. But I think the only really one I know, Megan or Rapinoe or something like that.
Oh, the soccer
team. They were kind of upset about them losing or whatever. But it's the progression of it, of course, is important because you're going to represent the team.
Yeah.
And there's just been so much controversy with them being proud of America.
Yeah.
Not being proud of America. So it's kind of bittersweet kind of deal.
It's kind of hard.
You don't want to really win anyway, right?
Yeah, it's kind of hard because you have multiple views and standpoints on things, like how they're standing up for rights, and then, you want them to win, but then they lose, and then some people are happy, and it's tough because they're what America's known for soccer, U.S. men's soccer,
right.
Yeah, we're behind the rest of the world. Right. Even though I think I saw we went up in the rankings recently, but that doesn't matter. We're not top. So, the American Soccer Pride is the women's team, and it's interesting. But yeah, when something like this happens, of course, it's similar to Simone Biles, top of the headlines because of their ability to win and be good and expected to be good. So,
and that's the thing, the expectation that's put on these people.
Yeah.
To actually win. And it's interesting you bring up Simone Biles because she bowed out in competition and because she was for mental health reasons.
Yeah.
And as everything kind of unfolds and kind of comes together, we talk about the reasons why she did it. Something called the twisties. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Twisties.
So the twisties.
I've never heard of it.
So it's something that gymnasts get, and it's like a mental and physical kind of block. Oh, I guess you can call it like a dizzy feeling.
Yeah,
kind of.
it's like when you know something bad is going to happen.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I know I got to pull off this feat, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to go well. So they kind of get in there all.
I can see that because, I can see that because you even like different sports, you have that like basketball. You've been to the free throw line 1,000 times, but the game's on the line, so you getting the twisties at the line. Like you knocked down that free throw 117 times.
That boy.
Yeah, or like golf too. Golf, like they're all, a lot of sports are mental games. Like I mean, football's mental too, but it's a lot more physical than every other sport. Right. But golf, like you shank your drive, and then like the rest of that hole, I'm sure you're thinking about it.
Thinking about that last shot.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
I can see, especially with like gymnastics, I'm gonna say dangerous because like, man, I wouldn't even dare do anything that twisting and jumping and stand. I can't even stand the balance beam at the park. More or less they're doing. But yeah, I can see that totally happening, and it's just
the thing with Simone. She has this move, the GOAT move or whatever they call it, that it's named after her.
It's impossible to do unless you're her.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, okay, here's my theory with it. She did it the first time, landed it. Maybe she didn't even know she was going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
But then she was able to do it again. Then you get to a point to where maybe you're practicing and you're trying to do it again, and it's like, man, I'm not sticking it like I was doing it. So you kind of get in your own heads, and boom, now you're at a position to where
you'll once you're in like athletics mental, man, like a lot of it's mental,
right.
Like so. But yeah, I can see, and especially it's even worse because she's the best one in the world. So like if something goes wrong at the Olympics and you get the twisties or whatever, and you mess up, that's where you get.
Is this the GOAT?
Yeah, I pulled it up, but we gotta be careful. I'm just gonna show like the move because I know people. The Olympics is crazy on DMCA.
Okay. So we're gonna just kind of show the move.
Yeah.
This GOAT move for her, and then we'll just move on with it, so we kind of know the pressures that she's on. So she did the double pike vault or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Didn't stick it, normally, but it's nothing short of amazing to me. I could barely run down the aisle and jump on the doggone thing. And do a belly flop on the other side.
I wouldn't dare try a flip. More or less like 17, like she just did.
Can't do it at all. But it's crazy because she was getting so much flack about not doing. Now, don't get me wrong. You look at the team, it's like, oh, did you quit on your team? Okay, whatever the case is. But as it's come to unfold, she had a death in the family. Supposedly, they gave her the news. Not supposedly, but they gave her the news of an aunt passing. So she was dealing with that as well. Yeah. We all know death affects people differently. Yeah. So that's added to the situation. So you never know what she's actually dealing with that.
Yeah. You never know what's going on. Like anyone's head, like more or less these athletes where they're expected to be good. So my thing about that, I was thinking about this last night, and I was talking to my wife about it, is people are upset at her, right? You're half and half, right? You go. I'm a comment reader guy, so I go on Facebook and look at the story. I look at read the headline. And I like to read the comments because they're either funny or they can make you upset. But a lot of them are just funny. But they're just, some people were just bashing her, some people were protecting her. But it's like, my question is, if she wasn't the best in the world,
would it matter?
If she was the fifth person on the U.S. team,
right?
Would they care?
Right.
Would you care? Would you care? Like, can you name anyone else on the Olympics team? Like, no one can. So if that's my question, like, it matters because she's the best. But from another perspective, like, if she was like the third or fourth person in line, would people care?
Right.
Like, if the same situation, and to be honest, like,
It's still quitting on the team.
It's still
right?
quitting, but like
Right.
people wouldn't.
They wouldn't care.
I can't speak for everyone, but I'm pretty sure 90% of people wouldn't care.
You're right. I agree with you because it's just kind of one of those things where you just don't the weight. You don't understand the weight of being that person in the spotlight.
Yeah, and it's.
And everybody has an opinion.
Yeah, and like
doing what I love has been.
Who's this guy? This is
Charlie Kirk. I don't know if you know who Charlie Kirk is, but this is what he got a lot of publicity for his statements on Simone Biles. So I want to see what you guys think about.
Let's see what he says.
What he has to say.
So Simone Biles, who's obviously a very talented gymnast, decided not to compete in the gold medal competition. Now, she probably could have just competed and just kind of checked the boxes and they would have got a gold medal. Simone Biles says, this Olympic Games, I wanted to be for myself when I came in, and I felt like I was still doing it for other people, as she cried after the team event on Tuesday. So that just, it like hurts my heart because doing what I love has been kind of taken away from me to please other people. Yeah, that's the point, Simone Biles. You're representing your nation, you selfish, selfish sociopath. You kidding me? Today it's like, you know what? I'm not going to do something stupid and get hurt. It's just not worth it. Especially when you have like 3 amazing athletes that can step up to the plate and do it. So you know who has the gold medal? Russia. Russia. I have to go look at these.
He really doesn't want Russia
4'11"
to win.
He does not. What is this guy against Russia?
Olympians chewing on their gold medals, smirking at the Americans. I'm not okay with that. But honestly, that's where we're headed. We are raising a generation of weak people like Simone Biles.
Because of the
Again,
Olympics.
you want to be.
Okay. So
if she got all these mental
I would
health
put
problems,
this guy in that extreme category. She's weak? Really?
6 million, 5 million.
Man, like,
Wow, she's weak because of that, bro. Some people would say she's weak. So be it. But because I don't know, man. I don't. You can't label someone because of one incident.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that.
I mean, it depends. Like, I look at it from a standpoint of if Simone was my homie, what would I say?
Right.
So, I mean, I would first of all, as being an athlete growing up, I'd be like, all right, homie, come on, we gotta go. I mean, I know
right.
we're good, but like, in the day, like, you know, if something's wrong with people, like, you don't know what's really going on there. Like I said, so I would be like, come on, Simone, let's go. You got a gold medal to win. Like, I know you feel like try to encourage her, but like, you have people on the other side of the spectrum in the U.S. It's like, well, now the Olympics count. Like, no one's ever said, oh, you're weak, like you're this, you're that. Like, no one said anything about. It's like, so half of these people are probably LeBron fans, right?
Right.
Like, they're saying this, and LeBron, he's not in the Olympics. Like, he's not the best players in the U.S. are not in the Olympics, and they're struggling, right?
Exactly.
But no one's talking about how, like, oh, they're weak. They
decided not to go, so they're weak.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, it's just like that's just like Simone Biles not saying, hey, I don't feel like competing in the Olympics because I got, you know, well, I got a family to take care of, or I got, you know. So if you look at it from those standpoints, it's like makes it a little different. But also, I don't want to get into it, but I'm gonna get into it. Like, is this a what is the demographics of the hate? Like,
right.
So where are the demographics
100%.
of the hate?
Go ahead and say it.
Yeah,
go ahead and say it.
Is it. I mean, I'm just asking, what are the demographics of the hate? I don't know for sure. I don't know the numbers, but I mean, as I scroll through the comments, the most hateful comments come from
people that are non-black.
There's a trend.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I can't say, you know, some people are racist, some are not. But like, what if Simone was a different color,
right?
A different, you know,
or even a guy.
Yeah, even a guy. Yeah. So it's like, but as I scrolled from what I saw when I scrolled through the ESPN comments, and I mean, there were some African Americans that were like, oh yeah, Simone needs to get together. But the majority of people that were going in, just like this guy was on Simone, not African American.
Right.
And I mean, and
probably have never done a handstand in their life.
Probably not even bought a ticket to on an event like this.
No, they don't even. These guys never even watched gymnastics.
Exactly.
Like I mean, people were watching gymnastics because of this girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so now you're mad because she has mental issues going on. Like,
so here's where I take it to for me. The team thing, you quit on your team. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's
happened. She's not the first person to do that.
Yeah.
I will say that Sunisa Lee probably never would have gotten an individual gold medal.
Yeah.
If Simone was competing.
But shout out,
she wouldn't, but she got it.
But shout out to her, yeah.
Shout out to her, my cousin. Boom. she won the gold.
But yeah, but like and it sucks for her because we're not talking about her gold medal.
We're not talking about her.
And like her family's probably happy, but no one's talking about her gold medal because we're too worried about Simone Biles.
Exactly.
But like that event that let's take it from that state, like the event that Simone would have got gold in, probably. Another American got gold, so it's like, okay, well, we're doing all right.
No harm, no foul, right?
Yeah.
We just didn't get first place. We got second.
Yeah. So
I can remember when Kevin Durant he came back from when I think he tore his ACL or
Achilles.
Something. Yeah. Achilles, that's what it was. Came back too early, bro. The game that he came back in, he re-injured himself.
He really injured himself.
And he was out of there.
Yeah.
Out of there. So these athletes, man, they already have the mentality that they want to do it.
Yeah.
You think she wanted to quit? I don't think she wanted to quit. But when you get in, it's like, you know what? I got to be smart about it.
Yeah.
I got to be smart. I got to make sure. Okay, if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. Point is, she won the bronze medal in the balance beam.
Exactly.
So, hey.
But I mean, so all these people are commenting. I'm sure 80% of them are not athletes or not.
They eating they eating one of these.
Yeah, exactly. So we're over here eating cinnamon rolls and scones, which I'm totally okay. But like, they're probably were never competitive athletes, so they don't understand. I mean, as a competitive athlete, you still like. So I have a friend. He just like he tore his Achilles. He's like my best friend. We grew up, and like he was he lives in the country now, but he plays with his brother-in-law that plays basketball in high school. So they run pickup games at the local high school, and there's a whole bunch of high school kids.
Right.
So he calls me. He's like, "Man, I'm done." I'm like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "I tore my Achilles trying to play with these kids," and he's like, "Man, So we had a discussion about like, is it time to hang up the kicks? So Simone is obviously a competitor, but like. People don't like to not play. Like if you're, so she's doing it for so long. How can you say that? Hey, she's letting our country down. There's obviously something wrong. Like
the weak comment is that's overkill.
Yeah. So when I go with him, I'm like, he's like, I gotta hang up the kicks. But like at the end of the day, like he's gonna get surgery sometime, and then like 2 years from now, we'll be like, hey, let's go hoop, and he's probably going to hoop because like you're an athlete. Like you're. So the weak comment is like, oh. I don't know. It's hard to call out someone that's weak, and you're not. These people are not even. She's the best in the world. Like these people are not even the best at their company. Like, so I'm like,
exactly. It's like really, bro.
Yeah, you could feel. You're entitled to your feelings, but exactly. Like, and people get in their feelings, but like you get the understanding is a thing as well. And my wife says empathy for what's going on. So you know about empathy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man, I say kudos to Simone. She still came away from the games with a medal.
Yeah.
2 medals actually, a silver medal for the team and her individual, the bronze and the balance beam. So kudos to you. The Olympian Table supports you, Simone. So
the Olympian Table talking about the Olympics.
Hey, there we go. There we go. We support you. So kind of keeping in that same vein. My wife and I were having a discussion about the how the games are determined as far as who's the winner.
I saw you posted something on that.
So there's the actual Olympics app, which is just for the whole world. It showed at the time, I think I did this a couple of days ago, it showed America leading with the medal count, which we have been leading medal count. But it had China in first place because they had the most golds. So the question is, to me, who's actually winning the games? The most gold medals or the most medals overall? Because right now, as we stand, medal count, the most medals, U.S. 91. Second place in medal count, 74 for China. Okay? Then it comes Russia and down the line. So we've got.
When you posted this, I thought about this. So there's a solution to everything, right? So we're gonna do this. I think the fair way to do it is we give the medals some points. So gold's 3, silver's 2, bronze is 1, and then you do the math from there. Like I think that's fair.
I think that is fair.
So I mean, the medal count is it's tough. Like there's medals out there, a lot of medals, but
So this is how I broke it down to my wife. So it wasn't all these extra medals. I said, so let's say I have 20 medals total, and you have 15. But of my 20, 8 of them
are
gold.
You got 14.
And you have, I just told her, I said, you got 12 gold medals. So do you win or do I win?
And this is where, like, when you're talking to your friends, I don't know, like, how everyone else grew up, but it's just back and forth. Smack talking between me and my friends. So
Right.
The argument to that is going to be like, well, I mean, you got 20 medals, but they're not gold. You got 8 of them gold. I got 12 that are gold. So you were in second or third place 12 of those times, while I was in second or third place 3 times. Like, you
Right.
know, so.
You know where her logic took her? She asked, am I competing in every event? Which makes
that's another
perfect
question.
sense.
Yeah.
Because every country's not competing in every event, right?
Yeah.
So
Percentage wise.
I won't have as many medals as you because I didn't compete, and we don't have,
a chart of
I don't know. Let's just say it was some kind of ice event.
There's a whole bunch of things you can do on that, though. Like you can go by. You can start scaling by like size of the country, and then like size of the country compared to who competed in the preliminaries, and then like from there, you can get.
It seems like the overarching idea across the board, except in the United States, is gold medals.
Yeah.
You got the most gold medals, you're leading. Even though we have almost 20 more than China, they have them in first place with 34, and America's behind. In the U.S. is 29.
Yeah.
So.
Google tells no lie. So I pulled up Google, said medal count, and it pulls it from the Olympics. Right there, it says China's in first place.
China's in first place. That's what it says. So I don't know. It's debatable. I guess depending on where you live, it'll have a different story. We're in the U.S., so we got.
It's technically between. It looks like it's going to be down to China and the U.S. It's not everyone else. There's nothing really close. So.
Oh yeah, nobody's close as far as medal count goes. The gap was a little larger yesterday, but it's within 5 now. But so I'll say kudos to all of them.
Yeah, I mean, man, you're the best in the world. I wish our Olympian was here to
best
talk.
in the world. It's tough, man. It's tough to get out there and do what they do.
Back to, I don't know if y'all talked about the previously further back in the Olympics, the sprinter with what was her name? Shakira.
Oh yeah. We talked about her.
Yeah.
What, you weren't here. What do you want to bring up about her?
So I was just, I mean, your thought. I mean, I obviously wasn't here, but I don't know. Like my thoughts on that were like y'all probably had your thoughts. I'm like I could see both points of view, right? Like marijuana is not performance enhancing. It's probably performance not enhancing,
right?
Yeah, but reducing.
Like, hey, Gary, you a little bit slow today. Everything okay?
But like at the same, I could see that where it's like, oh man, like marijuana shouldn't be on that list, but it is. And I could also see that like, hey, it's the rules. Like, so when you don't follow the rules, then like, I mean, so that's where I stand. I'm like, I feel her. I feel everyone else that feels for her, but it's also the rules too. So like, what the rules are. I mean, if you're gonna drink and drive, don't like. I mean, you might not be that drunk, but you've drunk enough to fail the breathalyzer test.
Absolutely, it's a wrap for
yeah,
right?
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, it's the rules. It's unfortunate for her, but it's just like.
I said it because what I said was basically how I don't know if you watch like MMA, like UFC. They used to test and screen for marijuana too, and Nate Diaz wouldn't care. He would just keep getting fined over and over.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm smoking weed before my fight. It doesn't do anything, and they ended up clearing it. So now you can smoke weed in the UFC. So you can see a similar thing going on here, where she's like, I mean, I don't think she meant to do it.
Yeah.
But she could also play the card where it's like, I'm just setting a standard or whatever.
When you have the power to do that, like when if you're just some nobody that happened to place in a race that no one's ever heard of, and they're gonna be like, but like Nate Diaz, like everyone knows who he is. Yeah, so he's like, I don't know, like I smoke weed, it's okay, like, and you don't care, then it's like, okay, well, we have to do something about it because he's one of our stars, like,
Right.
you know, so, and it's the star factor
with
too.
her. And I think in her case, it was a part of her lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's just kind of what when she did it. She didn't think it was any kind of egregious, you know, offense or anything.
Her aunt, someone died.
Yeah, her biological mother passed.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that
Everyone handles it differently.
everybody deals with it differently, right? So I'm not excusing it, but she probably wouldn't even think about, oh man, I'm doing this. Oh, I got this deal with it. So boom, she goes take the test, think nothing of it, not knowing that the rules, and what many people don't understand, the rules for the Olympics aren't governed by the United States. It's a worldwide.
Yeah.
They have to agree on this stuff.
Yeah.
And if Olympics say that you can't have marijuana in your system, you can't have it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's the rules. But it's just like, yeah, like you said, that no one cares. Like, no one cares. I mean, it's all come to the conclusion that, like, if we're gonna put people behind jails for weed, then like, what are we doing? I think,
I think it's dumb anyway.
it's just like you used to walk outside and you smell weed, and it's like, oh wow, weed. Now, like, I was at City Center the other day with my kids, and there was these two dudes lighting up a blunt. I could smell it, and like, I mean, they're lighting a blunt.
Still
like,
stinks, but
yeah. I
whatever.
mean,
It's not something you're just so appalled by.
yeah, exactly. So you can see it from both ways.
Here's the funny story with it all. The women that won the actual race, all from Jamaica.
Oh, the land of.
All from Jamaica, where the
Free.
ganja is free and roaming, right?
yeah.
So they were able to stay clean, and, you know,
That is true. That's very true. I didn't even think of it from that standpoint.
So I don't know. That's why it's just. Like, hey,
No, I mean, she broke the rules. Like,
She did.
She had to face the fact. But yeah, the question is, like, should that be a rule now? Like that, but it's.
Yeah, I was when we're talking about star power. I just want to throw this completely off the rail of what we were talking about. So everybody knows who Jesse Owens
Yeah.
is. Mac Robinson, ring a bell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Robinson. Most folks don't know who Mac Robinson is. Oh no, not that guy. Not that Mac. M-A-C-K.
Old school Mac.
Robinson. He's no longer with us.
He's like.
Yeah, no Instagram. There he is. Mac Robinson. Everybody knows Jesse Owens because he broke the time in the for the Olympic team and went on to win the gold medal, blah, blah, blah. And I think it was in the 30s or whatever. Mac Robinson also broke a record, but he was second place.
Second place. Yeah.
He was 4/10
Ricky Bobby.
behind. 4/10 behind Jesse Owens. And he got the silver, instead. But you don't hear, when you hear people talk about greatness and everything, this guy broke a record too. But you don't really hear about him. I think he was related to Jackie Robinson. So he's in that bloodline of athletes. But we talk about notoriety and just kind of knowing. I always tell people it's second place, man.
Ricky.
Second place is, hey,
well, there goes
if you ain't first, you're last. Right?
Exactly, Ricky Bobby. There goes your medal count talk. Like,
there it is.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you have a point, because I think even when I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but like, even when Bolt was running, I think people were possibly breaking world records behind. I don't know if they were, but no one cares about anyone. Who were the other racers when Bolt was running? You tell me.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We literally don't. We have to Google it.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? So
Who knows?
It's just like,
it's like, man, you can do your doggone best, man, but if you're not first,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even when Simone Biles, I'm like, do you know who the other the gymnasts were? No, except the girl that won gold. Like,
who lost to Michael Phelps? I don't know. Who knows?
There's one guy that they were Michael Phelps. Is it Lock?
Brian Lock.
Yeah, he was always second, but like. They talked about him a little.
I think he got into some trouble or something.
That's why. Yeah, he was like doing something in the Olympic Village. I don't know.
He I know what it was. Didn't
he like say some black dudes robbed him or some junk like that?
Yeah, he said he got robbed to his mom, and then his mom told the press. So he didn't leak it to the press. What had happened was some security guards hustled him for some money. And so he was like, I got robbed. Like how if you were gonna finesse me out of $10, I'd be like, you robbed me. Like, that's what happened. And then his mom ended up telling him, he got fined like $8,000 for it.
Yeah, I remember that. So I was like, that's why.
My baby. Somebody gets my baby.
Yeah, so
she went and told.
Mom has to stay out of it sometimes.
Oh well, so we're still in this Olympic vein, but this is all stuff that I think this is the season that we're in. So of course, we know that the Olympians get paid for winning the medals. Gold medals, silver medals, like it's all graduated down depending on where they win. Any idea what they get as an American Olympian for winning the medal? If you had to guess, for getting a gold medal in the Olympics, if you had to guess, where would you say?
For winning the gold medal?
Oh, this is not I sent you the wrong link, Jack.
I don't know. So I'm gonna take a guess. For a gold medal?
For a gold medal, yes, for a gold medal. In the United States, you winning a gold medal, what do you think the payout would be?
I would say somewhere between 50 to 70K, maybe.
Generous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, because if you're going through the heat Simone Biles is going through, you probably deserve 200K for that gold medal.
Here, I found the link here, Jack. I'm gonna send it to you. So the money for winning a gold medal in the Olympics, a gold medal for the United States, $37,500. $37,500. And it goes down from there. So so on and so forth. I think you get
22,000 for silver. If it's
so. Check this out, though. The bonuses in some of these other countries, though, bro. The highest, Singapore for a gold
$1 million.
medal. $1 million Singapore dollars, which is equivalent to 737,000 US smackaroos.
So what you're telling me, James, is that if Simone Biles was from Singapore, the people should be a lot more upset with her.
Hey, you taking money from us? Get your butt around that team and get your win on.
So the question is, the athletes in the U.S. I don't know how sponsorship base works but in the U.S. you don't have you can make 37,000.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
But when you Simone Biles, your Subway is gonna break you off.
Well, that's the point, right? So we have so many more athletes going to the Olympics. So you can't pay everybody, $737,000 to go. But what they get for winning a gold medal afterwards, as far as endorsements,
endorsements,
and, coming on, book deals, whatever the case is, man, that money is this Olympian money pales in comparison.
But the thing about that is like, okay, gold medalists, you get all the perks, but like silver medalist, second place.
22,000 still a nice
no, but I'm
money.
saying, but like Singapore is 500K, well 370,000 US, right? Mm-hmm. So like you would rather be an athlete for Singapore at that point because you're not getting endorsements in America as a silver medalist.
And here's the question, because I always wondered, why do these guys come over here and play in our sports leagues and they go back and represent their countries? It's why, bro.
Yeah, they're getting paid.
They're getting paid. Come back and represent the country. If you win a medal, boom, this is the money that you're gonna get.
Yeah,
it never made any sense to me. The guy that won the this race, that he was born here, but he went and ran for Italy. He got the gold medal, $213,000 versus $37,000.
I'm probably gonna go
running for the. I'm probably gonna go back to the other country too.
I'm 100% gonna go back to the other country. There's
no question.
And on the. I forgot to mention this earlier. Simone Biles is actually my wife and I talked about it. She's like she's Belizean. She's like.
Oh really?
Yeah, I didn't know
Her
this.
family is
my father-in-law knows like it's like his best friend's like niece or something somehow. But she has citizenship in the Belize and.
Really?
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
If you're listening,
I know she was born here.
If you're listening, Simone, we can go to my wife's family's house. You can come by. They'll cook you some nice dinner, man. And we'll talk about it because I got your back.
And I know, I think she still lives up in Spring somewhere.
Yeah. Her family lives somewhere in Spring.
Yeah. So hey, that's cool. That's cool that she's got those Belizean ties.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I always wondered, why do these guys go back and play for their?
They get paid.
It's a money thing. The dollar bill speaks volumes, man. What we got here, Jack?
Man, I just had it, but I lost it. But basically, Katie Ledecky I think her name's Katie. Yeah, Katie Ledecky. They're talking about the endorsement deals she gets. Here we go.
10 endorsement deals.
Yeah, she got 10 endorsement deals with Ralph Lauren, Adidas. Wow. Does it have other names on here? Hershey, American Girl. Like, these are all just AAA names in the economy, I guess. So, yeah, they're getting 30 racks, but I guarantee you Ralph Lauren is not paying 30 racks.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, some commas into that number for sure.
But it's good for gold. If you're the best, that's good. But like, you don't want to be a silver medalist in the U.S. because I mean, you get money, you get paid to $20,000. But like, well, you'd rather be a silver medalist in Singapore,
exactly?
Because like you're not getting the endorsement to the silver medal. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, if you dual citizenship and like Singapore versus America, and like I know I'm not Simone Biles, I might be someone else. I'm going Singapore all day. If I get that silver medal, I'm about to get $500K.
And they say most of that money is not taxable. It's just, you get it, you win it. So that's why these dudes are going. They're going back to their country, even though they live here and they play here and they're doing everything else. But they go play for their own country and they get that prize money because if you got a chance to be here, you can win the gold medal. But if I go to this team.
Yeah, and then it's that too, more money paired with like a lot of people that play. I mean, you get a chance. I guess it's for a chance to represent your country also. But like, there's a lot of people that are playing sports in the U.S. professionally. The majority of them aren't going to make the U.S. squad so it's like, okay, well, at least if you go play for your country, you have a chance to get on that medal stand. If you might not even make the team here, So depending on what sport it is, like soccer, if you're coming from Europe, then we'll probably take you. But
absolutely,
yeah, a basketball wise,
you've been playing since you were 2.
Yeah, exactly. So we in different sports, basketball wise, it's like the world is catching up, but it's like you got to go against these guys that have been dunking since they're 7 years old, and I was talking to Jack about summer AAU basketball where you play high school 18 games in a weekend, then you play some kids from El Paso that you beat by 60 one game, and the next game you're playing Kevin Durant. Like,
man, there's no in between. It goes that extreme.
Jack, I was telling him about like AAU where you'll play 18 games in a weekend, and then one game you'll play some kids from like El Paso that are all 5'2". You win by 60. The next game you step on the court and Kevin Durant's on the other team.
You got like Bronny Jr. dunking on you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny. So
that is crazy. Well, yeah, so that's interesting, man. That prize money. So moving on, COVID-19, man. These numbers are up. They're increasing. Vaccines are up. Infections in the ICU are up. Everything's up. I think our neighbors to the east of us, Louisiana, they're requiring their governor saying that everybody's got to wear masks inside. Till now, at least till September 1st. That was kind of so they can kind of get the numbers down.
I was reading somewhere. Was it? Yeah, mask, or wasn't someone requiring like your vaccine to go?
So funny enough, so New York, saying that you got to show proof of vaccination at all indoor to go out to eat.
Yeah,
that is I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that.
So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna move to New York and open a outdoor eatery. This is what you need to do.
Actually, someone was talking about that. How it was Pompliano, how they were talking about home prices and how they're continuing to rise.
Yeah.
And he was saying how he doesn't disagree about the vaccine, but it's just the narrative of that you can't really judge like home prices anymore because of these laws that like local entities are passing about masks and stuff.
Yeah.
So people are going to start moving or leaving areas that are more or less freedom restricted.
Yeah.
In terms of like mask stuff, because you have people from California who are like, heck no, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm going over to Texas where they don't care, or Florida where they don't care, and then vice versa. Where Texas is like, these people don't care about my health, so I'm going to move to wherever.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesing.
That is interesting. That is definitely a different perspective.
So what do you think about that, James? Like as far as masks and the COVID resurgence.
Here's the thing: if you got to wear a mask, if someone mandates a mask, I'm going to wear a mask.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with following a rule. If that's what your rule is. I'm never closing all up in someone's personal space. That's just kind of not how. I don't know. I can't say I'm a germaphobe, but I wash my hands when I go to the restroom. Before I eat. I'm fairly cautious about what I touch. I don't bite my fingernails. Any of that stuff that can kind of transmit this stuff. But I think folks they get to the point where they're so adamant about, you're not going to tell me what to do.
Exactly.
It's like, come on, man.
Well, that's you talk about, like, people from other countries talk about U.S. and the sense of entitlement to, like, certain things. And like, I mean, you have your amendments and your rights to do whatever you want, but I feel the same way. I have no problem. I mean, I don't want to wear a mask. No one wants to wear a mask.
No one wants to wear a mask.
I mean,
you not want to wear a mask.
There's some people out there that it's a whole nother story, but it was a joke. But there's some people out there that benefit from wearing a mask, because when you see that bottom half of their face, and you're like, okay, right? But,
maybe you should put it back on.
I don't have a problem wearing a mask, man. It doesn't bother me. Like, it was getting to the point where I forgot about the mask, because like we didn't require it anymore. But now I'm like, you think about your mask more because the COVID's going back up. But like when it was like COVID in the middle of COVID season, like mid of last year,
you gotta wear it.
If you walked in a place like, so my friend, he lives in the country, he went to his son's birthday party, and it was at some skating ring, and it's called LaGrange, near LaGrange, I forgot, out there where Bluebell is. And so we walk in. Brenham, yeah. So we walk in, and it's the country. So I'm like, I didn't know how to act because no one had their mask on. Yeah. Because we live in Houston, everywhere you walk. So it was like, no one has their mask on in here. So it's like, it was weird. But now it's like you go places and not. So it's just, I mean, I don't know what to say about it, but I personally have a problem wearing a mask. Like, but there's a lot of people with problems like wearing a mask, and they take it. I think a lot of people take it too personal.
And that's the thing. I think that what you said, the personal, like it's a personal attack. If you give me an option, I ain't wearing it. Yeah. It's just like, hey, okay, cool. I come in, I don't have to wear it. Cool. But if you say I have to do it, okay, cool. I'll put it on.
I'm not a doctor, or I don't do research on that, but and then there's so many things that you could watch nowadays. People could put their own media on YouTube, and they could say this and that. And so, like, you have the news that's saying, masks help, and you have the people on YouTube that's saying masks don't help. So it's like it's hard to decipher what's right. But as far as I know, like, there's people in like China that, because of the pollution, they wear masks every day.
Right, regardless. Yeah, they wear masks when they have a cold.
Just regular stuff.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I don't know if there's any negative. I haven't researched, but I don't know if there's any negative health effects to wearing a mask all the time. But I mean, there's people they're doing it every day. Like, it's just like the thing they do. So, and I don't think they're dropping dead at the age of 20 because they wore a mask, Right. So I just don't feel that. For me personally, if I need to go to go eat at Chili's and I need a mask to get in before I sit at the table, I put a mask on. Like.
This is true. Yeah. I mean, I still think that concept is dumb, because you go in with a mask and you sit down and you take it off.
Yeah.
But if I needed to get in,
it is what it is.
So I think it's the zealots that actually ruin it for everybody on either side.
Yeah.
So whether you're for it or you're against it, it's like, bro, if you want to do it, cool. If I don't want to, cool, just let me live.
Yeah, it's just like political views, like, right?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, because even like you said, you support Trump, right?
No, I have never said that.
Support Trump, but
what I said, I'm conservative.
Conservative, okay.
I am conservative, absolutely. But that guy, he just happened to be the representative.
Yeah, okay, my bad, James. Okay. Before like, you're conservative and like I'm not. So it's like, but I don't understand. Like, if it don't bother me. We're still homies.
Exactly.
Like, but like, it's some people, like, it's like, okay, well, I don't like to talk about it personally, just with people that I know that are gonna like, oh, so you're a Democrat, like, yeah. Then it's like, I don't want. So a lot of time people ask that, I just like, I mean, I don't want to have this conversation, so it doesn't matter what I am because it's just like, why do you do this? Why do you do that? I'm like, I don't feel like being questioned. Like, I don't like being questioned in general. So I'm like, it's just like some people feel the need to, like, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. Like, why does my mask bother you? Like, it's just,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's like those people too who are like, it's my freedom to do whatever. Like, those are the same people who get on the freeway and drive the speed limit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put on their seatbelt because it's government. It's a government rule. You have to do it.
Yeah.
Same people who stop at a red light. You just want to bitch about something.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, man.
I didn't even think about it like
That's
that.
it. It is.
Yeah,
they just.
Infrastructure is government.
It's literally the government telling you what to do.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. But I've had this conversation with my father-in-law who watches CNN 24/7. I mean, I'm like, bro, you should get a little mix of the other side sometimes.
You watch Fox News?
I don't watch either one, but he's so that one side. I'm like, man, it's a bad thing to have just this one thing.
Fox News, MSNBC,
especially CNN, like the worst.
Yeah,
Like
it's
left
like, bro, you should
media.
you need to get a little bit of the other side because he talks in all these sound bites. I'm like, bro, you sound like Don Lemon.
Yeah.
It's like chill with all of that that stuff. But nevertheless, I think we have to make our own decisions. And they smoke. I don't like to smoke.
Yeah.
I prefer that they don't.
Yeah.
But I love them the same.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's like, man, if you drink, if you do whatever the case is, it's like, man, come on, let's just live. I let people do what they want to do. Oh, I told you, you're going to get COVID, and they're playing all this. It's like, man, stop it all.
Well, I have a friend of a friend who, I didn't even know this until I got back from vacation, but he, real cool guy, but he never want to wear his mask. He didn't get vaccinated. He didn't believe in COVID. So I get back from vacation talking to him, and he's like, yeah, man, I just got out of the hospital. I'm like, you got out of the hospital? What happened, man? You get in a car accident or something? He's like, nah, I got COVID. And like, young guy, 32. And like, so he was in the hospital for like 7 days. COVID, like couldn't breathe anything.
And he was like, an anti-masker.
Anti-masker. But like, and the thing about it is like, young guy works out every day. So it's like, so me looking at that, I'm like, I'm definitely wearing my mask a lot more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he's like, cause he's like, I mean, he's in the gym more than I am. And I'm not in the gym a lot, but I'm saying like, if he's in the gym more than I am, he's going COVID and going to, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely wearing a mask. Like, I was going to wear a mask regardless, but now since you gave me a reason to wear a mask more, like.
COVID knows no boundaries.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm going to get you wherever I can get you.
It doesn't see color.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. Weight, age, don't matter. It's going to get you.
I was telling him about I was like, that's the only guy, I was asking my other friend, I'm like, that's the only guy we know that like had it and got like sick. Like, because everyone else we know, I know people that had COVID 30s and they either got a cough and then they were asymptomatic. But like, but he's like, he's the one that, slept it off. He's the one that was in the hospital. I'm like, oh, maybe he's getting worse. I don't know, but he's the first guy I heard about that. So
it's crazy. I sent you a picture, or link, Jag, or a picture of
the Lollapalooza.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
So these jokers, man, this Lollapalooza, which was in Chicago.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I'm trying to go there tomorrow, or actually go visit some family. Look at these dudes.
Oh, wow. I didn't even see that picture.
Bruh, I don't see a mask in the crowd. Anybody see a mask?
Wow.
Yeah, no, and then I saw this on on my Instagram. It's a Lollapalooza lineup.
Man, that is crazy.
And talking about
now Chicago's liberal city.
Yeah.
That's one of those, areas, that way,
So what's I don't even know. So what's the, I mean, they're like close contacts. I was going to say like,
that ain't 6 feet, bro.
Outdoor doesn't even matter at that point, right?
It doesn't matter.
I'll tell you right now, they're touching each other's Molly, like they're smoking off the same joints, like they're doing all that, hitting the same vape, cigarettes, all that. Like that is a super spreader.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Their arms are sweating, they're touching each other's like moistures and stuff.
You're just breathing in it.
It's irresponsible.
The person in the very back is breathing in the same space as the person in the very front.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, man, but yeah, speaking of COVID, so we're in Belize, right? Different country.
Right.
So I didn't even know they were like that serious about COVID, but they had we want to talk about like rights. Like they had a curfew. I'm I'm an old man now, so I got kids. I go to sleep by like 9 o'clock. So
Old man.
They're like 30.
Right. So
I'm old.
31, man. Hey, Jack, how old are you?
23.
See, Jack, once you get 26.
45, man. I'm old.
26, 27, Jack, you got about 3 more years until when you feel rested. Because when you get 26, 27, it starts going downhill rest-wise. But, so, like, talk about rights. They had a curfew. So, like, you couldn't be outside walking without a mask. They give you a $250 US fine. So you have to be out, like, if you walk into the store, and mind you, Belize is like no central air. So, like, you're walking from.
None?
I mean, most places don't have. They have
They
like
just got those units.
they got the units that are like in the corner sometimes.
Gotcha.
But like a lot of them, people don't use it because it's expensive. Like the electricity is expensive.
Sure.
So I'm like talking. It's like you think Houston's hot and humid. Belize is
believe
like
it. I
Belize
believe it,
is
bro.
humid.
I
Like
believe it.
I was like it's another humid. So it's like so you couldn't be outside.
What are these people do?
Yeah, that's the Belize Zoo.
Yeah, I just dropped out of rain.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good spot because that's the rainforest where they got toucans and all that stuff. But yeah, see,
Oh, look at that.
yeah, see,
Okay.
yeah, it's like their zoo is like an actual like you go in the jungle, so it's like a for real like habitat type deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Manly Zoo in Australia.
Yeah, probably similar
You
things.
just walk in with the kangaroos. They just all around.
Yeah, there's all around. So, but yeah, so their curfew was I think it was the first when it was like 11, right? And since they see Delta going up everywhere else, there's 11, and then like last week or the last couple of days where they changed to 10, then it was going to go to 9. But like you couldn't go anywhere. Like the restaurants had to shut down by when it was 10. The restaurants had to shut down by 9.
Oh wow.
And then like you couldn't go out. Like you couldn't do anything. Like after 10, they caught you out. Like they either take you to jail or they fine you or whatever, a couple $1,000s. Like so after like. We're at my wife's aunt's house, and she has like a patio, and like she lives in Belize City, and it's like one of the main streets where people go through. Mm-hmm. After 10, no cars, nothing at all. It was like
really
quiet, like but we're complaining about wearing a mask, but they shut everything down. You can't go anywhere. And one of her cousins works like 12-hour shift, right? So he says he works from noon to midnight. So he says once he gets off, they escort him back to his house.
Oh, so make sure he goes straight home.
Yeah, make sure you go straight home. So I mean, that's not crazy restrictions, but still, like
it's restrictive, and you probably have a bunch of nuts going to jail because they feel like, oh, I need to go to Whataburger.
Yeah, here, definitely.
Here,
we
exactly.
couldn't. We couldn't have it. We couldn't have it here. But I'm just saying that's a little taste of what's going on in other parts of the world.
Well, hey man, you gotta take some type of precaution.
Yeah.
I'm not against it at all. I'm not against it, and quite frankly, I'll be glad when it's at least under some type of control.
Yeah.
So we can kind of have some bit of normal with. Mask up, folks. If you got to, mask up.
If you have the ability.
Also wear
to
a condom whenever you can. Keep down the population.
Yeah.
There you go.
A lot of you guys saying that.
Got folks yelling at me about getting this. It's like, bro. You worried about me getting the vaccine? You won't wear a condom? Come on,
yeah, bro. Exactly.
I don't want to hear about it. Get out of my face. Anywho, moving on. So the
New stimulus, huh?
new bill that's
stimulus
been
drop.
proposed. Ilhan Omar. She's a different type of lady, in my opinion. But nevertheless, Democrat out of Minnesota. She was proposing a bill that would send monthly payments of up to $1,200 to adults and $600 to kids. Just ongoing. And I don't know, man. This is we can't just give away money to people. I don't think the economy will recover the way that we need it to. Folks are staying at home now because they've been getting unemployment benefits that pay more than what they've been getting at a job. If you go in to start giving adults, so essentially a family of 4, mom and the child, you got $3,600 a month that they're looking at paying each month that they'll just period.
Yeah.
$3,600 that the government will pay them just to be at home. Some folks will be okay with that.
I'd be okay with that.
I mean, that doesn't make you want to Because I mean, personally, for someone like me, I couldn't just sit there for 30. I mean,
my household wouldn't. I couldn't afford my household with 36.
oh, I couldn't afford it, but but
I would want more.
Even if I was getting 3,600, if I could afford it, I'd probably still be out. I can't. Some people would just sit there and watch, especially we got Netflix. People will sell their house, move into the hood, and watch Netflix all day if they get in 3,600. But man, there's like all kinds of. So this reminds me of. They might hate me for saying this, but so I don't know if you remember Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, dude, I listened to that guy, man, and like. What he said made a lot of sense to me sometimes.
It does.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense.
It does make sense.
But the problem is, Americans, I don't know, something like this, it sounds good.
I think the problem is like, it can be done, but when you're pumping, I mean, I know what they're doing. They know that they're pumping like insane amounts of money into the economy.
Yeah,
so the only way to get rid of the money is to spend it.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to spend as much money as possible, which is why they're doing the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to do this, but I just don't think. I mean,
sustainable.
Dude, pump more money into the economy. You know, like pump my assets up. Like I don't care, but it's in the long run, it's not good. I mean, it's good for my Robinhood portfolio.
Right.
Yeah.
But for like actual well-being and life in the United States. It's not going to be good.
I agree. I totally agree.
And a lot of the people are saying right now is like billionaires are not going to be as rare because they're not rare anymore.
Yeah,
right.
They're not going to be as rare in like the next 5 or 10 years. It's like Venezuela. Like if you're a millionaire in Venezuela, you're middle class or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually the case, but the economy.
But I mean, like a million. So you talk about a millionaire 20 years ago compared to now, like a millionaire is like $1 million now is like
people become millionaires overnight. I mean, they just get, you sell a product, boom. No, not now. This guy's a millionaire. It's just not. It's not that billionaire status that is the one that is just like okay.
Well, it's funny when like you think about it. My mom used to talk about like $500,000 home. Like, oh, it's a $500,000 home.
Right.
But like my neighborhood, there's.
Bro,
every other house is a $500,000 home.
Same, bro.
I'm like, so like
they sell this for how much?
Like it's not like, and like we work in real estate, so I'm looking at files that are coming through, and it's like this house is worth $550, and it's not even a surprise. Like it's like $550, 600.
Oh yeah,
600. I'm like, I'm not surprised. Like it's not like a shock, but like 1990, $500K was like, dang,
that's one heck of a house.
You have a house on your hands.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, it's. I definitely agree with the money pumping, and it's just for the people that are driven to do something, it'll affect them negatively. It'll affect them more negatively than it will for the people that aren't driven and just gonna not do anything with life.
I don't think there's enough help for small businesses.
Yeah,
I mean they're trying to give money to Americans, is what they say,
but they're not.
They're not earmarking that money to help that mom and pop shop, these businesses that have been open for years.
And they're struggling.
Freaking next door, Dave & Buster's is closed down.
Yeah.
And it's been there for years. Frank's Pizza right around the corner, been there for years, like a landmark in Houston.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have enough money, because people were staying at home making more money, and you can't run a restaurant with 2 people.
Drive down the street now and see how many hiring. I went to Panera. I picked up some stuff from Panera this morning. Now hiring.
There's a lot of now hiring.
My mother-in-law was talking to my wife yesterday, and she said that like they were in line at McDonald's for 30 minutes because they had like 2 people working there. Like it's
Spirit too. Have y'all heard about the Spirit stuff?
Oh yeah.
My friend actually had a flight to Los Angeles on Monday, and it got canceled because one of the flight attendants just showed up.
My sister-in-law was flying 2 nights ago. He called her mom. I was over at their house, and flight canceled. Just canceled because it was American Airlines.
American Airlines.
They just didn't. Folks just didn't show up. So I'm on the phone trying to look at another option for her. Say, hey, go over to gate such and such and ask this, and they were able to get her on. But it's crazy, man. They're just canceling flights.
So yeah, I explain like unemployment wise, like so. Explain this to the listeners about how like unemployment works and how they're because people are making more than or as much as they were making without working. So
they are.
And I forgot who I was talking to, but one of my wife's friends, she interviews people, and people would just come in and say, hey, can you sign off on this form, because they need to know that I'm looking for a job. I really don't want the job. So like sitting this to I don't want the job, but I want them to know that I'm interviewing. So I still get an unemployment. That's what's going on.
Because they were getting that percentage of what their income was.
Yeah.
Plus the bonus extra money that they were getting. So they were essentially making more money by staying at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's the remedy? What do you think the remedy is? Yeah.
Well, we got to get these Democrats out of power. That's what we got to. No, really, man. I think we need to. And this is the God's honest truth. And I guess at one time it probably worked this way. We've got to blur the lines on the parties and truly come together and start thinking about the people, like for real.
That's what I told my wife. It don't
matter if you red or you blue. We need to be purple. We need to come in here and work to see what's going to be best for everybody.
That's what my wife and I had this discussion about when the last election with Biden and Trump, and she was like, because to be honest, we never really had that discussion, and it's just like, because we saw the same, we started talking and we started looking at like, what's red, what's blue, and like when it boils down to it, I'm like you look at what red stands for, what blue stands for, and I'm like, don't agree with that, don't agree with that, agree with that. Don't agree with that though. Like, so we're gonna be divided until everyone decides to come together. But I think so. And I told her I think the younger generation is gonna be the one to have like the millennials, and my kids are gonna have to be the ones that. Well, and like you also, James, you're not old, but you know what I'm saying. Like y'all, like it's the more open. I think the younger generations are more open-minded than like. I know they're more open-minded than like my grandparents, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's going to have to be the thing that it's going to have to change, because like the biggest thing is like what Arizona, when Arizona flipped, it's like because there's the population in Arizona isn't it like super young now as opposed, so I don't know exactly, but it's going to have to be like probably with my kids before anything ever
we've got to just take the self out of it. If you're supposed to be serving the people, and serve the people, man. My team that I train and I work with, nothing brings me more joy than to see them win.
Yeah.
And when you can get that type of attitude about what you're doing, then you can start to see some real, true prosperity coming. But if it's always
about you,
I did this for you, and I did that, blah blah blah. It's like, come on, man.
But you have to it's hard for some people. Like I'm training people, and I'm like, like if we come across someone and like we have a client that's the same, and like they vibe better with you, and like I'm like, they sent me a deal, but they vibe better with you. I really don't, like, to be honest, like I don't. It's not about the money. Like you can deal with them if you like them. You want that, but it's like that's not how it is. Previous positions, I had people that it's like. You're supposed to train people and hire them, but then when they start shining, you want to shut them down. You know, like, so it's like one of those things where
absolutely
you can't be all about yourself, but it's hard for people, a lot of people. So,
and I feel like the way they execute this, like giving out money to these companies and to these people, is just so bad. I don't know if you guys know what FaZe Clan is.
Because they don't vet it.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
isn't FaZe Clan like the video game?
They started off as a video game, like YouTube channel. And they basically ended up recruiting talent, so they're a media company now. And they got like $5 million in PPP.
What?
And we're talking about a company that prospered from COVID because it's all online. It's just a bunch of 20-year-olds playing video games. They live in $1 million houses. They got millions of dollars in PPP. They went and got a section at like one of the top clubs in Los Angeles and threw a party with the money. It's like, why are companies like that getting PPP? And on top of that, I know someone was telling me that their mom in Switzerland does the payment benefits for people who are on unemployment benefits.
Like processing them?
And you have to submit like every month to keep receiving the money.
That makes sense
and
to me.
They look through your receipts, they look at like everything. There's not people doing that in the States over here. So
they're just giving it out.
Yeah, like you sign up, you send in your money, and then like you said, you just go to your homeboy who's a manager at some restaurant. You're like, hey, you interviewed me for a job, right? Yeah, cool.
Sign off on this.
And then you get $1,600 a month. For the next 6 months.
Can't do that, man. We're always trying to find a way to game the system, and then when you find out, now I don't know that in every case, but many folks don't know that some of those stimulus checks that we're getting, that's an advance on those child credits that you would get on your tax returns. So a lot of those big refunds that you would get, you're not going to get those when you file your taxes. And a lot of people don't know that's what the case is. But man, we'll see.
That's what Jack was saying. There has to be a better system to see like who really needs the money versus who.
I agree.
Yeah, because the people that are getting the money and that aren't working for it or don't need it or not trying to get money, that's the issue, right? The companies that are getting money that don't need it, that's the issue. So. It has to be. I mean, it's going to be complicated to try to figure that out. But like you said, if the unemployment thing should be, I mean, we have all these departments of the government. Someone should open up something and be like, look,
something, man.
Keep the records. We need to see you paid your rent. We need to see this. We need to see that. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And like, you know that you look around and people. McDonald's don't have anyone there. How do you know these? Like, you have to be like, okay, like there's 2 people working at McDonald's. Like, there's jobs out there. People are looking for
definitely jobs out.
So I don't know what the.
But I'll say with like things like McDonald's, I would even say if McDonald's really wanted to fix it, they just pay more. I guarantee you McDonald's can double or triple like the normal payment.
I don't disagree with you.
And they would do just fine.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
You're right.
Well, some of the McDonald's
that.
we're still paying like $16, $17 an hour compared to what $7
here.
Yeah, there was I forgot where it was. I was reading an article and like.
I haven't seen that. I know some of the others, like Target pays like $15 or $16 an hour. My son's at Home Depot. I think he gets like $13 or $14 an hour. Yeah. They pay more than just your regular, minimum wage kind of stuff. So it attracts people to go because they're making a higher wage.
I mean, McDonald's could pay about $37 an hour.
Shoot, I think Bucky's pays like $17 or $18 an hour.
Bucky's pays, Bucky starts.
And they've been there. They've been there since before COVID. They've been around paying more.
Yeah,
so.
Bucky's been.
For those of you that know that you're watching from all over the country, Bucky's. Although I think they have one in Alabama now.
It is
a Texas,
In Tennessee.
Yeah, this is a Texas company that is a superstore of sorts. They just happen to sell gas, but
they sell clean bathrooms.
Yeah, the best bathrooms ever. That is Bucky's. If you don't know what it is heaven on earth. If you go inside and you want to put your raw butt cheeks on the toilet seats, you will be able to do so.
You should probably come to Texas just to go to Bucky's.
Just to go to Bucky's.
There's actually people who do that, like tourist channels on YouTube.
Really?
It's crazy to see. Like, they will drive from Arizona to go to Bucky's, and they'll spend the entire day at Bucky's.
It's not that big.
Some of them are huge. You can't be to spend a whole day.
They'll do like breakfast, lunch, dinner at Bucky's.
Well, you can do that.
Back out there.
You can definitely do that because they switch it out. You start with the tacos in the morning. Go to the brisket and barbecue in the afternoon.
The brisket, they have some brisket tacos in the morning, man.
Oh, yeah, they got it all, man.
Brisket, it's good, too. And it's just crazy to see, like, a place that it's, like, second nature to us.
Right.
Or, like, 2 million, 3 million video channels.
I remember when Bucky's weren't, like, I remember when I was playing summer basketball, we'd always come to Houston from San Antonio. I remember when Bucky's was there, but it was not that Bucky's.
Oh, yeah.
We still stopped there, but, like, man, the Bucky's now they went from Walgreens to Walmart, like.
And they have a landmark.
It's a landmark.
They have them strategically placed, man. They're on I-10 on either side.
Yeah.
On 45. We already know if we're going to Dallas, we're going to hit Madisonville. If we're going to Austin, we're going to hit.
You know exactly where they are. It's in the back of your mind.
You know.
And it's like you said, it's like the perfect spot to.
Yes.
It's either right when you leave, right outside the city, so it's like you can hit the gas station and still be outside of traffic, or it's like right when you're getting into the city, so if you need anything last, it's impressive.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they absolutely know.
They might need to.
That's a little bit of Texas stuff. Well, and I think he's spread out, but we couldn't keep that one to ourselves.
Whataburger and Bucky's.
There you go, Whataburger and Bucky's. All right, fellas, moving on. So y'all want to hit the Nazi deal first, or you want to do the other guys?
Whatever y'all want.
Man, you know what? Because I didn't hear much about this, so let's do the Nazi guy first. This dude is. When is enough? I mean, how long are you guilty? I mean, I guess you're guilty forever, but of a crime that you commit, how long can they hold it? And it kind of ties into one of the previous deals with the sexual assault case, but. If you do something years and years ago, I'm talking decades, how long are you held accountable for that? And we know that there's no limit, statute of limitations on murder.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But how long? If you're 100, are you exempt? Because this guy is 100 years old, and he's going to be tried in Germany for some crimes of aiding and abetting some mass murdering while working at this concentration camp, right? As a guard. Is that the case?
So what's the motive behind it? Are they trying to prove a point, or like that's
I'm reading here. I don't know if this means that he directly did it, but it says
assisted in.
I think he helped.
Charged with complicity in the murder of more than 3,500 inmates. So if he's like
3,500, that is egregious.
That's like more people than I've met in my life.
Right, 3,500.
Yeah. But if anyone that worked at the concentration camps had something to do with and then mass extermination of what I'm saying. So it's you could link anyone at any of those the person the conductor who drove the trains to
Here's the tragedy in it. At 100 years old, does he remember?
Probably not.
Does he even realize why he's on trial?
Yeah, but also like even if they charge him, he's probably not gonna go to jail. It's probably just I
think it's like to prove a point. It's like, hey, this is what. I don't know if it's to bring it back up, but hey, like we remember type deal.
Yeah.
Like
you didn't get away,
I think it's just holding him accountable at the end of the day. I don't think he'll actually spend a second in actual prison.
And they're saying 3,500 people in 3 years, man. That from between 42 and 45.
Yeah.
3,500 people, man.
Well, the Diary of Anne Frank. From that reading that, which in high school I didn't read very, I just skimmed, but.
That is a required reading here in the States. So.
Yeah, it's just.
I never read that.
You didn't?
Well, they
took it out.
Oh,
there you go. Private school.
Yeah, but it's just like the things that were described. It's like, man, it's just thousands of people getting killed a day. It sounded like so.
That's crazy, man.
So they're like, oh, you're pretty sweaty. Why don't you go take a shower real quick?
That's terrible.
Yes,
man.
but yeah, it's. You have to just be trying to prove a point, and
it begins in October, so we're not even at. We still got a couple of months before it actually starts for this guy. I don't know. They haven't released his name, but there's also a Netflix special about Ivan the Terrible. Let me see what the Netflix special. It's like The Neighbor Next Door or the Devil Next Door is what it's called. And it's basically about this guy. He's a grandfather. He lives in Cleveland, Ohio, and they extradited John DeMoniuk was his name. They extradited this guy back to Israel to serve, to go on trial as a war criminal. And this was back in like the 80s, man. And it was one of those things. I haven't finished everything with it, but it's very, very interesting because some of the people that were on trial at that time, they found that they were either lying or they were senile. Yeah. There was one guy that they had up on the stand, man. They're talking to him and they're saying, so you remember him? You look at him, you understand that it was him, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was him, blah, blah, blah. And they said, okay, so when you went from here over in Israel to Florida for that trial, how did you get there? And this dude said he got there by train. Oh. And they were like,
all right, so this case is thrown out.
And so the prosecutor, he was like, I don't know why I asked that question, but I asked it, and he said a train. He said, so you got from here to Florida on a train? He said, yes.
Elon Musk.
Then they stopped. They stopped him.
Tesla train.
And started asking him like questions like, what's today? And the name of his kid, he couldn't remember one of his kids' names. So it was just like falling apart right in front of
that looks real bad.
That looks terrible.
Yeah, it looks really bad.
Terrible. But it's pretty good so far. The Devil Next Door is what it's called.
Devil Next Door.
If you get
it's a series or like a little mini
series. It's like 5 or 6 episodes.
Okay.
It talks about Ivan the Terrible, who was also complicit in killing a lot of people. That kind of goes in with this whole.
Documentaries are my thing on Netflix too, man.
That's mainly what I do.
I watched one recently, so we're getting off topic, but on the way back on the plane, actually, it's about I forgot what it was called. It's like a 3-part series, but it's this girl who stole the money from the Loomis truck. I don't know if you saw.
Yes,
It was pretty good. Yeah, you saw it? Yeah. So
I forgot the name of that one.
it was
She was like a 21-year-old. So here you go. Talk about vetting people.
Yeah.
They hired this chick. Cited she had never worked in this capacity at all. She was a pretty girl, and ended up going to apply to be
Heist.
The heist, right? To be a driver of a Loomis truck. Heist.
Let's see what it's called now.
So
I think it's called
they
the
hired
Heist.
her basically sight unseen, and she was dating this criminal guy. What I don't.
He was on. Yeah, I forgot his name. Solis or something like that.
Yeah, much older guy who was a criminal from another country.
Like he got a
or whatever. Started dating her, and she got this job, and she told him, "Hey, I got this job." Blah 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 blah. He said, "Oh yeah." So he started asking her questions. So,
Yeah.
Well, he's the one that told her to get the job.
Get the job, right? But he didn't tell her exactly
Why?
he wanted her to get the job. But he would ask her where she goes, how long it took, and this dude cased the whole thing.
Had her finesse.
Had her for everything, and then the day that they heisted this bad boy, bro, they were on the run for. She was on the run for a while.
Yeah. So So dude was like got out. Dude was a criminal mastermind. He was in jail for murder. Then he got out because he started writing poetry and how he changed. So he got out like 20 years later. Met this girl, and then they moved to Vegas. And they went through some whole sex magic stuff. He was like on some like weird stuff, and then he like basically hypnotized her and told her what she needed to do. And he was like, "Oh, you should get like a job at Loomis. There's a lot of ATMs at casinos here, and they a lot of armored trucks."
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like an inside job.
Oh yeah, definitely an inside job.
So
but she didn't know that she was like the pawn in the whole thing.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It was very interesting.
Just getting on that. Just getting off subject.
We give y'all some Netflix gold here today. That's what we do.
Yeah, and that one's like quick. It's like 45-minute episodes, so you're not gonna be there. You're not gonna be there all weekend. So, but yeah,
it was good. So moving on. So President Biden, Andrew Cuomo, to step down because he's been a little handsy with people, and I think I have my thoughts about this type of stuff.
How long is the document?
168 pages. This document. Yeah, the actual document. Report of investigation into allegations of sexual harassment by Governor Andrew M. Cuomo.
August 3rd, 2021.
And it goes into details of these. I haven't read the whole thing, but I did go into some of the instances because it lists, if you go to the contents a little bit, Jack, a couple pages after this, it lists the people right here. So like Trooper number 1, Charlotte Bennett, Lindsey Boland, it starts to talk about their story and what he did. And some of the stuff that he did, I can't say it was so terrible and over the top, but inappropriate.
Yeah.
But my problem with it, they didn't report it. They weren't reporting it. It was kind of like they didn't say anything, and so it's just kind of under the rug. And that's what I got a problem with.
When everyone comes out at one time?
Yeah, you come out at one time and say, bro, if you did it wrong and he's been doing this, why now? Why bring it out now? Well, and basically,
that's what I said. I agree with. I see where it comes from. Apparently, it's like. I think the same way, but I forgot who else. I think maybe I don't know who I was talking to, but I was like, why does everyone come out at one? And apparently, it's like, well, once that one person gets the courage because they've been sexually assaulted, then it makes them snowball and gives everyone else the courage. But I still don't want to be disrespectful to anyone's feelings, but at the same time, I feel like if it's going on, like you let someone know because I don't know. I've never been in a situation, but it doesn't look good makes him look better that everyone comes out at one time, right?
Right.
Well, and it's later than like if he was doing this for years, then like he's just doing it for years, and like you let him now. Obvious there's something going on, but still like report it at the time. But like I said, I've never been in that situation, but it's just like how that always happens, just like Deshaun Watson, like
I was gonna say I think it's because like how do you prove someone raped you?
Yeah,
like how do you do it? Do you record? Okay, like you're getting raped, just record it. Like I think it's a lot easier to put it in that perspective.
Yeah,
but it's like I think when it happens, I think he's a lot smarter than we give him to. Like he's not gonna do this with a camera in the room or something.
Yeah,
he probably knows what he's doing and how to do it. But I think, like you're saying, it snowballs because it's like now that there's noise behind it, you can
Yeah,
help push it
people
in
can,
that
like,
direction.
yeah.
Whereas like, say if you know a girl and if she were to come to you and be like, this guy sexually assaulted me or whatever, you would go to a cop, but the cop would probably say, I need proof.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, what is the proof? And there's probably not going to be any hard evidence other than some text messages.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's when there's identical
Stories.
cases.
Yeah.
You're like,
then,
okay, maybe something's going on here.
Starts adding up. But I was thinking, this made me think of like totally different subject, but it's like when Tiger Woods happened.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But like, I mean, they weren't sexual assault. It was just that like he was.
It happened though.
He was like.
But so many came out after that. Though.
Well, I mean that one was for like, I think those were kind of like more for the fame, because like those weren't cases of like, it was just him having his good old time, like, you know, like, but like, yeah, these are different, but it's still like everyone, once that one person comes out, it's like, oh, there's 800 mistresses in there.
800 mistresses.
Oh man, that boy was wild.
This
Out there, bro.
And I feel
Bucket
like
naked.
this all got like really, really hot when like the style of exposing people got really hot. I in my preference, or in my you know what I'm trying to say, it started with Stormy Daniels.
Oh yeah,
Trump.
of course.
Yeah.
Because, and I think she is the problem, because there are people who have been sexually assaulted, and she tried to ride on the coattail of like getting taken advantage of.
Yeah.
When she knew what she was getting into
Yeah,
at the time. And then it like rolled over to actual people like that dude at Baylor.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it affects stuff like that, because
Yeah.
now you have like the same mentality when you look at different
The things,
cases
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
it's like, yeah, that's what it is.
When Stormy Daniels got paid a huge bag
Exactly.
to do what she did.
Yeah.
And like you have this dude who's like just raping a girl behind a dumpster, and he walks off scot-free.
Walks off
Yeah.
scot-free, bro.
It's like insane.
Because he didn't really. I don't know what the excuse the judge gave, but this dude just walked off.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable. So I mean, to that point, right? You got those cases, which is obviously overt in that situation. Then you have this baseball player, Starling Castro. So it started off with him being suspended for 30 games by MLB after they did this domestic violence investigation on him, right? So this dude's 31 years old. Your age, Aaron, 31.
I'm not doing anything crazy like this, man.
2011, he was accused of sexual assault while playing for the Cubs. They didn't bring any charges against him, saying that there wasn't enough evidence. Here we are, 2021, and not only is he suspended, he is no longer playing for the Washington Nationals. He doesn't have a job anymore. Where do you? Now, I'm not saying this guy's innocent, but it seems like that he's guilty until proven innocent in this point, because he got suspended and he's gone.
Yeah.
It happened in 2011 when he was with the Cubs. They didn't investigate it. They didn't bring anything up.
Yeah.
He's been on a couple of teams since then, and now all of a sudden we're in this era of exposition, and he's out of there now.
And it's like weird, because like, okay, if this happened in 2011, then okay, we're gonna kick him off. He's not gonna make any money. Like, but like, I mean, he's a pro player now, so he already made millions. Are we gonna go back to when it happened and try to get all them? Like, it's a financial thing, and it's also like it's not, most importantly, not financial, but like, if someone's mental health is at stake here, and physical health, but still, like, it's like it happened in 2011, so. He's just been living his best life for the last 10 years, like, without,
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's like, I put it later on, so we'll talk about it later. But like with Dr. Dre.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it ties in to the same thing at the end of the day. He even talks about how he used to like just beat the shit out of women.
Oh,
he
really?
would just beat them up.
I haven't even seen that.
He even says he was out of control, like, back in the day. That's a quote. He was like, I was just out of my mind back then.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have been doing any of that. But it's like, I think it's just holding them accountable. I don't think it actually accomplishes anything at the end of the day, but that's the message they're trying to send, because like, I look at it from like, I don't know who Castro abused or like the domestic case is about, but it's like, in Dr. Dre's perspective, like those women who like had to deal with that, and then you see him selling the top Apple the headphones that he's bought out by Apple for $3 billion. And all this other stuff. And then it's like, what happens to him? Like, do you, now that he's taken off, like, can I just does it not matter anymore?
Yeah.
Because it's been so long ago. And I think these people are just looking, I don't think the lady or whoever he intervened with actually wants his like career over. I think they just want people to know, like, hey, like this happened. And we all make mistakes. I'm not going to say he should be held accountable for it for the rest of his. I mean, he should be held accountable for the rest of his life. But they're just trying to make aware that this happened.
Yeah,
and I get that.
Yeah.
I just think for me, I mean, because similar to what you're talking about with Dr. Dre, Russell Simmons, same thing. There was a documentary called On the Record of these women talking about all of them don't know each other. They're doing the same thing, talking about this guy did what he did.
The biggest one too, R. Kelly.
Of course.
Yeah,
like, R. Kelly went to jail at least.
Yeah.
He's in there dancing for whatever, his freedom.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's this, if you go into it and you're in the spotlight, it seems that you're guilty until you're proven innocent. The media puts it out there, and the public,
the media controls.
They damn you to whatever the penalty is, and you have to prove your innocence. Now, many won't agree. I think the same with Brett Kavanaugh when they were trying to install him for Supreme Court justice. That lady said that he did whatever 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
This dude was trying to fight for his life to try to get this deal. Yeah. And she couldn't half remember some of the stuff that happened. I'm not saying she's lying, but it's like, is he guilty just because she said so?
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
And in Starling's case, the prosecutors dropped the case because there wasn't enough evidence.
Yeah.
But this dude still, he loses his job 10 years later.
It's so crazy to think about, which, like I said, I'm not trying to discount what happened to people, but like, if you think about it, like, let's say we go to Target, right? I'm a young lady. We go to Target and I see other young ladies saying, hey, y'all guys want to start walking to people in the aisle, want to make some money? We're going to go and say that so-and-so did this to us. Like, someone just drafted by the Rockets. He's going to make $10 million. We could all come out and say that so-and-so, we have no connection to each other. We could all come out. And it's that simple. Like, it could be that simple. Like, I mean, not saying that this is what happens, but if you look at it, if 5 people can't come out with no connection to each other, that they all just met at Target randomly, like, it's a tough thing to fight against. Like you said, you're guilty until proven innocent. Right. So it's like one of those things where, like, oh, well, I don't know. It's hard to like figure out a way to defend yourself at that point.
Yeah, man. It's tough
because you don't want to discount, like you're saying.
Yeah,
you want to.
You got to give both sides.
Fair.
Yeah, you want to be fair. So like, fair. And then like if there's allegations towards it, then that person's name's already like slandered. Yeah. If there's more than one person that came out and it's just like, reporting first, ESPN, or like, whatever, ABC's reporting. And it's like, dang, like now I think, Deshaun Watson's a terrible person just because, I don't know. It's hard to defend yourself in that situation or defend your name, most importantly. So,
but I mean, like, to me, the easiest way to defend yourself is like, don't get yourself.
Yeah,
I'm talking about from the women's perspective.
Oh no! I totally agree with you.
About the guy's perspective.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Don't go in that closet with her. Don't go in that dark room alone.
Yeah.
I tell my sons that all the time, bro. Don't create the environment for something that if you can totally deny it, then that's what you need. Total deniability. It's like, you know what? Nope, that didn't happen because this is where I was.
And because what had happened, this is a personal experience. Like 2 weekends ago, my homies were playing a show, so the club gave us a section because they were the performing artists.
Yeah.
We had a girl in there just destroying our bottle of liquor. Which is cool. Like that's what the club's there for. And like, you guys go do whatever you want. But we met with that same chick like 2 or 3 weeks later, and she was in the backstage room with us, And she was like, yeah, like y'all were forcing me to drink alcohol and we were getting so screwed up. And me and my friend were like, yo, like that did not happen.
That did not happen.
Like we did have alcohol, but you drank that on your own.
We made it accessible to you.
Yeah, like we didn't force you to do anything.
Exactly.
You decided. And she's like, no, we were all getting so like messed up. And I was like, no, dude, like don't be telling people that because we all have names for ourselves. Like we don't want stuff getting out.
Yeah.
That like barrier has never happened.
That's like crossing the line. When you say something like you forced me, it's like no matter what you forced me to eat that part.
It's like,
I mean, it's okay if your kid's 5 and you want to make him eat broccoli. Then I totally understand that. But like you forced me to drink alcohol because alcohol leads to like a lot of
things.
bad decisions. So it's tough, man. I don't know. It's one of those things where. Like you said, you can't put yourself in that situation. So now this is where you got to start using all the technology that comes into play. You got to, if you got people coming to you put cameras on every angle of your space. But you might have to, if you're an athlete, you might have to wear a body cam on to make sure, like, to have that footage because at the end of the day, it's their word against yours. Because unless
it's true, man. Because we talked about just the media effect on it. I'll never forget Denzel was being interviewed and he was talking to the media. He said, man, one of the biggest effects nowadays is for you guys is the need to be first. Not even to be true anymore.
Yeah.
It's like you don't even, it doesn't even matter.
If you're first.
Whose life you ruin, who gets destroyed. You just want to be first.
Well,
and so it's a responsibility. He told them it's a responsibility that you have to tell the truth, not just to be first.
That's why TMZ is TMZ.
Right.
Do you know why TMZ is TMZ? Do you know why they blew up?
They vet.
No, the first thing they did was Michael Jackson. That's why they blew up.
Oh yeah,
I was
definitely
Kim Kardashian.
I remember that.
When Michael Jackson died.
I remember that because Farrah Fawcett died the same day.
Because the guy that TMZ guy, I don't know his name, but he was like,
Talk about that white dude.
Yeah, the white dude. He was like,
Levine.
so we got word Michael Jackson died because I forgot what I was watching. He was explaining it.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we are because Michael Jackson. And we're like the guy. We got word that he died, but we didn't know if he for fact. And we're like, he's like if we launched this to his little. Like we could either go all the way up or go all the way bad.
Levine.
He's like, yeah. So he was just like, let's do it, and they did it, and he was dead. So like now they're TMZ, like.
Well, I remember that, man. I was sitting at my desk because Farrah Fawcett died, and we were like, oh man, Charlie, y'all.
And then
Farrah Fawcett, Charlie Angels.
And then from there on, when you're first, it says reported by TMZ or like so your name's out there. They're first.
Usually though, I go to TMZ to double check. Because typically TMZ is right.
Yeah, but they are right. But I'm saying that's just how media works.
That's how it's right.
Yeah, that's how it works. And they happen to be right, and they are right now. But it's just like they blew up because they were first. They were
definitely first.
They were first.
They were definitely first.
If they were second, they wouldn't be where they were right now. So you talk about being first in media.
No, but I want to ask like this might take us down a rabbit hole too. But like in terms of like. Recording things and having our phones to hold people accountable now. Do you guys think George Floyd would have, or Derek Chauvin would have been convicted if it weren't for the video footage?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Yeah, easy. Like no.
I don't because it would have been his word against what actually happened.
Yeah, his word, and he's a cop, and
their fraternity.
Yeah,
they stick together.
They definitely are.
Yeah.
They stick together, man. And I got cop friends. Family, no knock against them, but they are a fraternity and they stick together. That's why we end up getting videos 2 or 3 years later or something that happened.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, they're just 2018.
Yeah.
Just not releasing the
You
footage?
just releasing the video on
it's
that?
almost 2022. Like,
Yeah.
No, definitely. I don't. It wouldn't have even gotten the media attention.
Oh no, not at all.
It would have been like
Not at all.
we wouldn't even know who George Floyd was if there wasn't a video.
Yeah.
So
No, I totally agree.
it was. It's. I mean. Yeah, there's no.
There's no question.
As an African American man, I can.
No,
I mean, there's no way to prove it, but I'm like 99.9% sure that he wouldn't have gotten.
I mean, that's one of the main ones I've heard of, and I know that happens at least once or twice a day around the country.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you see people that are like they take out their phones and they're like, put away your phone, and it's like, I was just recording. Like they have the right to record. It's their phone. Like
Because how many times you get the body cam
footage and
or the video, it looks edited or something. If you can edit the video, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Who are you protecting?
Well, you see like stuff what's going on, and people will be recording, and the cops will be like, "Turn that camera off," and it's like, well, they don't have to. They can record it if they
It's
want.
like, why do you want me to turn it off? Like, you're doing your job,
You're doing
right?
your job. Yeah. So
I'm no believer that all cops are bad, and that's not me.
Yeah, I don't think so
in
either.
that case, if that video wasn't on,
oh yeah.
George who?
Yeah.
And it
Oh,
was
just no dude.
And like even until that happened, we thought it wasn't gonna happen. So like even with the video, so it's like okay, well if there was definitely no video, it was like like it was.
Oh well.
Not yet.
Oh, so I guess we talked a little bit about Dre stuff, but let's talk about this Robinhood IPO. That was one of yours, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize they're going public.
I didn't either.
Did they give any kind of window or what they think they might come out as? Or
Oh no, they went public already.
oh, they already did.
Yeah, they're on the market.
What's their symbol?
Hood.
Hood. Hood.
Yeah, and they're actually yesterday was up 20 days.
Oh wow.
wow.
Did they open
5
it?
days, you're up 70%.
Oh my goodness.
When did they? Oh wow.
I think they went up last. July 29th was their first day at 34.82. So pretty much up 100%.
Okay.
Wow.
I didn't even know that they had gone public, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know either.
But it'll be interesting to see how they do, especially because it's like the first tech stock brokerage.
Stock broker, yeah.
So I don't think they're going to end at stocks. They're going to end up doing other things as well. So I want to see what other tech they get into.
Do you think there's going to be more after,
More
depending
what?
on like more tech stock type?
Oh yeah.
Since after they went public.
Yeah, people are saying that like tech companies are going to be the future.
Yeah.
There's so much information in tech and like how we use our phones.
Yeah.
That they can make businesses that we don't even know that we want based off of the data that we use.
Yeah, there's so much data. Like
it's some crazy stuff.
Oh, my portfolio was green for a change today.
So what is so I was talking to my wife about this too. I didn't even Google it, but like what is it? What do you need to be considered a tech company? Like what do you?
Well,
is it just like based on the computer? Is that what?
Yeah,
you probably know more better than that.
Because like Rocket Mortgage is considered a fintech company, a financial tech company.
Yeah. Compared to like Quicken Loans, which is like.
Which is their parent company.
That's their parent company.
Yeah, but it's like they're not a tech company.
Yeah.
But Rocket Mortgage is all virtual.
I think it's just companies that are using the technology to study their data and drive their business.
Yeah.
I don't think there's like a set.
Yeah, I was like, let's Google what's a tech company because everything that comes out now is a tech company, you know?
Everything.
Well, and that's what I think. There's actually a write-off category for being a tech company too.
Go down. It says, what is a tech company anyway? Tech Nation.
It's classified to qualify as a company to make new technology, whether or not they sell it or to an end user. Yeah, that's a big thing because there's this other website. It's called and I wrote it down. But there's a company, and it's basically Uber for office space. Yeah, where like you download an app and say you have a meeting with your homies. You just rent out space and you show up. And that was a tech company with an evaluation of like $5 billion, and they never sold a product, like an actual product.
Yeah, you don't have to sell a product.
That's genius.
Yeah. Was it like so? Yeah, like
that's genius.
Because like Uber doesn't sell a product.
Right, it's a service.
Yeah, service.
And so it's like Uber now they could do like insurance for the cars that are running for the Uber drivers. They could do like a special insurance company,
right.
like all that other stuff adds on. And so I was listening to somebody talk about how like these companies receive like billions of dollars of valuations, and they don't even sell like actual product.
Yeah.
So what they do is they'll go to capitals or venture capitalists, and they'll pitch like these evaluations that are totally insane.
Yeah.
Because you're not selling a product; it's all like speculative.
Right.
How much you do.
It's hard to like. Yeah. You can't put a number on.
It's like a real life Shark Tank, right?
Yeah. So that's just crazy that's where everyone's headed.
I just want to be the guy to just like inventing like the doorknob. You know,
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
It's like they're everywhere. You use them on everything.
We're talking about Shark Tank.
You make money without even thinking about it. You know?
I could binge watch Shark Tank all weekend.
Oh yeah, me too.
There was one that was on there. I don't even think they got a deal, but it was like I remember this one like it was yesterday. It was like a little thing you clip on your vents in your cars, and it holds like the ketchup tray.
Ketchup tray.
Ketchup tray.
Like your ketchup, or so you could dip while you're yeah. I was like, man, that is genius. That is like so like when you're because
Right.
you put like you're driving it, sliding everywhere, bro. You clip it on there, holds like your ketchup, and you just dip and
I'm not
eat.
trying to
And
dip anything while I'm driving anyways.
so it's like, I mean, it's like right there. I was like, man,
that's funny. That's
It's like talking about doorknobs, so it's silly stuff like that. But yeah, I always wonder. I was like, what's the definition of a tech company? Like,
Yeah,
it's because I want to just
new technology.
I'm gonna start something and just be like, yeah, we're a tech company.
and I think that's like what a lot of people are doing. Like these actual like Silicon Valley businesses, that's what they're doing. I mean, Silicon Valley is for tech anyway.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
Like that's just the way to go because
Yeah.
it's so diverse. You're
It's just
not.
like-
You're not like. I like to even say that we're a tech company now because
Yeah.
we're not so much interested like
In
to do real
brick and
estate.
mortar.
Yeah, like to do real estate. You really.
It's tech now.
Yeah, like it's all tech to get the business.
This
It's
is
tech.
true.
To conduct the business,
HAR's
it's
tech, everything's tech. So like,
It is.
I just want to be like, I want to tell my homies I own a tech company. So like, what does he do? He owns a tech company.
Tech company.
Yeah. Because it's like disingenuous to say you're not, because you can sign a paper contract for title or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's gonna get to a point where you're just on an iPad. The
Yeah,
entire time.
that's where it needs to be.
That's the move. That's the move for sure.
It's coming. It's just like
We're like 5 or 10
the big thing with that is it's the lenders that need to, and like the counties, like they all have to agree upon.
On paper.
Right.
It's like secure, yeah. What's secure, what's not secure, what like because like they have platforms where you can notarize things. Via like they have ones where you could be in a room with it, like video chat with notary. They have ones
Yeah.
where you can verify with it. It's so there's a lot of stuff coming, but yeah,
It's all trust, and it's just old people don't trust the technology yet,
Yeah.
and the old people are the ones who are in the appraisal district are the ones like running the government.
yeah.
So once they start to get vetted with this new stuff, like I guarantee you, none of them use dot loop. Like all those people in Trek who are on like the board,
Yeah.
do not use dot loop.
Yeah.
Do not use
Oh yeah.
like any of
I
that.
agree.
So it'll be interesting. And
Yeah,
it'll definitely-
I'm curious to see where everything goes like in a couple of years because I mean the people are getting older, man. Like so,
Yeah.
There's gonna be a shift.
Yeah.
There's gonna be like a dynamic shift. Sure.
I'm curious to see. Especially, I mean, like real estate is already like pretty much tech now. Like now that you have the apps where you can look for homes. And,
Zillow, Redfin.
I listen to
we go
Zillow.
through the transaction, man. Literally, I can do it paperless
Yeah.
because you upload everything, to.
Only thing that has to be printed off now is the closing documents that the lender requires or whoever requires.
Yeah.
And to record the documents, the county requires some type of. You can record it digitally, but you need the form like signed.
Yeah, they still require wet signature.
Yeah. So, and to be honest, like you might not even the county might not require it. I haven't even looked into it, but all the warranty deed of trust,
Right.
the lender don't want that digital signature, man. They're gonna be, but you can sign the contracts, DocuSign. Yeah, so it's like
Pretty much everything. In our package, there's about 2 documents you got to have a wet signature for. I don't know why you even have to.
yeah,
Because they end up signing it again at closing anyways. But
Yeah.
they requested. One is a credit card authorization. I guess I can understand that.
Yeah.
You want to make sure somebody actually signs authorization. Credit
you
card
can't just
cards,
use
but-
Apple Pay.
Unfortunately, not.
It's like Apple Pay and all this stuff.
Unfortunately, not.
So
Well, shoot, man. I think we hit it. Oh no,
We got the Dr. Dre stuff.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
So,
See what you guys think about this
I
story.
didn't see this one.
yeah, what's up with Dre?
So, Dr. Dre sold beat Apple.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Um,
I know he's paying $300,000 a month to his ex-wife, which sounds like a lot of money. But if you look at what that dude's making, drop in the bucket.
So yeah, sold Beats to Apple for $3 billion.
Yeah.
That's pretty big. And so I want to see what you guys have to say about this now.
What?
Yeah, so
She's
apparently, she's homeless and living in her car. His daughter.
What is homeless?
Yeah,
really?
right. Living
That's
in her
all
car.
relative.
Living in her car is what she says. Dr. Dre's oldest daughter.
A rental car at that, right?
Is it
Well, she's not homeless.
That's what it says. She's been living out of her rental
She's
car.
not homeless if she got a rental car.
She's single.
Not cheap.
Wait. She's a single mother of 4. Currently works as a delivery driver for DoorDash and Uber Eats. She's also employed at a warehouse, but claims that the earnings she makes aren't sufficient to secure an apartment.
Not homeless.
Mm.
Just because okay, so that's my thing. So she's just because she's Dr. Dre's daughter,
I mean,
she deserves more money from him
Well,
because
what's his net worth though?
Here. So I'm just gonna throw it out there. Children will take you to a place in your mind where you never thought you would go. Because, for one, let's just put it real numbers. On average, it takes about $250,000 to raise a child in America right now.
more than that now.
That's on average. $250,000. Now you throw in,
You're talking from
there's Montessori schools
up to 18.
Yeah, up to 18, right? So that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And if you do that for your child and they're, disrespectful or they steal from you or they just anything along those lines, it's a betrayal that you just like, I cannot believe that you did this. And it can make you, short of murdering them, want to cause very
Bodily
extreme
harm.
bodily harm to them. I've dealt with circumstances in my own personal life where them things I thought, my kid didn't do this or he wouldn't do this, and it's like, I can't believe that he did this.
Yeah.
Nothing where anybody was harmed, but it's like you raise them a certain way, and then they can
mindset
go. It's like, bro, I can't believe this. I didn't show you this. What do you mean? I look at stuff with my siblings. Decisions that they've made and what they put my parents through, and I don't know. I just think you don't get a pass just because you're my kid.
Yeah.
And you made decisions. Single mom of 4, okay? That you're my kid. Okay, cool. Now I probably wouldn't have my kid on the street.
Yeah.
That's just me. But you don't get my cheese just because your last name is Lee.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
So that's my thing. Is like, okay, so there's endless amount of situations which could have led to this. So you can't. So at the end of the day, like, you're a grown up. You have the ability to work, to move, to and like it's tough because I discussed like before with people that like it's your child. So like if you see your child struggling, are you? I mean, there's some people that are just assholes and they wouldn't do that.
Right.
But like at the end of the day, like you see that child from baby to grown man, woman, and you're like, okay, well, so do you blame yourself for kind of, but like, what am I trying to say, man? It's just like, it's tough. It's tough. Like it's because it's your child and they struggling. But if like, also if they're not, depending on the situation, if they didn't do what you asked them or they rebelled against you, then like they're grown, they're 18 years old. You don't have to give them anything. Like you don't owe them anything. You raised them, they're alive, you got
them to the point to where they're supposed to be out of the nest to float and fly on their own.
And
right?
it's easier to help a kid that is putting in the time, wants to be part of wants to be part of what you have. And I don't know the situation, but probably some type of bad blood there where it's easy to help a kid that's like, okay, well, Dad, like I'm trying to, I wanted to be a pilot, but I couldn't pass tests. I wanted to be a doctor, but I'm struggling. Like, can I help you in some way? But like, if you're going on the media segment, I'm broke and homeless, and how am I gonna? I need money from you. Like, nah, I don't know the whole story, but something is a little.
It's like, and I'll say like the other difference here between you guys and him though is he's worth $800 million.
That's true. True. Would you say that if like your parents had $200 to their name?
It's different if you're like making like $60,000 a year, but this dude has so much money where like I could probably take 500 racks from his account, he wouldn't notice.
Yeah. So
that's true, but it's still not your money. It's my money.
But that goes back to the conversation we had earlier about like when these these people that are in the spotlight do things, and like, would you bring it to the forefront if it wasn't an NFL player, NBA player, or like, or would you, or if you're the kid of some bum and he hits the lottery for $100K, like now are you gonna say that's $100K? Like how much can he break off for me?
Right.
But if your dad's worth $800 million, like, come on, Dad, show me like 1,000 or something.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't have to be like two numbers in front of the comma, like even $500 or something.
Yeah, but it's still like, I don't know. Maybe you have to know the whole situation.
Exactly. So exactly. I was gonna say. So let's just say he helps her. Let's say he's helped her before.
Yeah, you don't know that. See,
right. Let's say he buys her the car, pays for it, boom, gives her $10,000. She runs through it. Now here she is again with her hand out again.
Right.
Because I have a person in my life.
You were talking about that earlier.
That I have helped.
Yeah.
Time and time again, but because that help is given out time and time again, it's almost like they don't learn because they got that crutch. I know I can come back to this person to help me.
Yeah.
And after a while, it's like, you know what? I'm sorry, the well's dry. It's dry.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore because you're not learning.
You're enabling.
I'm enabling you
yeah.
in this problem, and it's like, man, $800 million or $800. That's that man's money, and you're not my responsibility to take care of. Now I would probably take my grandkids to make sure they were good.
Yeah,
it ain't their fault that you sorry.
Yeah.
But I doubt that she's living in a car with 4 kids. That's why I'm like, are you really homeless?
Oh, yeah, no. It says her kids are staying at friends' houses or something.
Why isn't she staying at her friend's house?
Hello.
Probably ego.
Probably because her friends know she's irresponsible.
Or she's a little crazy. But you were saying something. I was going to say something back to that. But it's just, similar to like, okay, so for instance, like enabling. So like, for instance, my wife has a friend that's been with this dude. Well, she's been with him. He hasn't been with her, if that if that makes any sense. So it's like she's been trying to get, she's trying to be a good friend and get her, like, hey, let's do this. Like, this is not working. This is not working. This is not working. And it's like she wants to have kids. She wants to have a family, but this dude is like not the one. And I'm like, apparently she wants more than anything to have like a family, but this dude's not the one. So my wife keeps trying to tell her, I'm like, but at one point do you say, hey, like I told my wife, I was like, you need to tell her straight up, like, you're grown, like you need to figure this out. It's just like the kids, like you have to figure it out yourself or you're not going to get what you want.
Right.
Like, so it's like, I don't know. It's like enabling. There's like different types of enabling, but it gets like kind of tricky when you deal with parents and kids, and especially if the family has money. There's some type of, money just makes everything so much more complicated.
People just think because they assume you got money that it's yours. You got it. You can do this or you can do that. It's like, man, nah, bro. I got my money. There's purpose and reason that I have this, and I want to be responsible with my money. And if I just keep giving it out to you and you're irresponsible with it, that's irresponsible.
So I'm just throwing away money, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Because I mean, I don't know. That's why I think financial literacy needs to be taught in school first and foremost.
Yeah. Forget the Anne Frank story.
Yeah.
Put in some budgeting and credit. I mean, the importance of credit and all that needs to be part of the curriculum. I've been saying that since my kids. That's why I always make sure my son right now doesn't live in my house but has excellent credit, and he thanks me to this day. Dad, I'm so glad that you did that for us.
When my wife and I used to discuss back in the day about like our kids in college and stuff like that, she used to be like, they're going to college. But now she's starting to see, I would tell her, I'm like, is college what you really want? I mean, like college is not a bad thing.
It's not.
In the long run, financially, if depending on if you're not making enough money to do, but it could be a bad thing. But I'm like, it's like, by the time our kids grow up, I'm like, they need to make a decision. Like, I'm not telling them if they want to go to college, they go to college. But I'm like, I'm gonna also tell them like, hey, if you're not gonna be an engineer, you're not gonna be a doctor, you're not gonna be a
STEM,
nurse.
baby.
Yeah, I'm like
STEM.
I'm like,
I've said that time.
If you're not gonna be that, then like you're like everything I've learned. I got a master's in business. I got the business degree, and like everything I've learned in the real world was not in college. Like I learned a little bit about accounting in college, but like everything I've learned to sustain myself right now was not in college. So I'm like, and we listen to like podcasts and different things, and it's like investors always talking about like how you learn from different people that are doing it. Like college, you're just learning like, why are you taking business calculus? Like you're not going to use business calculus in the world
Ever
like,
in life.
Like, and then we have everything now. Like you don't need to calculate anything. Like,
Right.
Back when your teachers would say like you can't use a calculator, you're not gonna have a calculator on you for like every day. Like, what now?
It's on my phone. I got a whole computer right now.
I can talk to my phone and it can solve my problem.
Right.
I can ask about like my life problems.
Yeah.
But like to go back to it, it's like all this stuff, and I guess this is just from like my generation's perspective. It's like all the stuff we were taught growing up, not the case anymore.
Yeah.
Like save all your money in a saving account. You're losing money if you have a savings account in this current state. You have to go to college. Like video games are like destroying mental health and like all that stuff. It's like some of the kids I was playing video games with back in like 6th grade, they're like full-time
They're getting paid.
Streamers making 6 figures a year.
Yeah.
You know,
play video games.
It's like everything is like a complete 180 from like what we were brought up on.
Yeah.
And it's just insane to see how everything's played out.
I was reading this article about like why do the younger generation, why do they have to pay Social Security taxes when it's not gonna be there? Yeah, exactly. So I was like, it's interesting. And then like when you brought up like saving money, my mom, she's a saver. She has retirement account. She's good. Like once she retires, she'll be good. But like, I don't want to be a retirement account guy. I want to be investing, growing money. But like, it's not her fault. She never taught me about that. But like, the more podcasts I listen to, the more people I come in contact with in real estate, you find out more about like what grows your money. But like, no one told me anything about investing. I didn't learn anything about real estate and
the
college.
stuff that you need for real life.
Yeah, I didn't learn anything in the college, and that's cool. Like I had a good time in college, great experience, learned about myself. But like, I wouldn't. If my son was like, "Hey, I'm gonna talk to my kids before they go to college," and I'm like, college is gonna be $200,000-$400,000 at that time. I'm gonna be like, look, man, like this is what do you want to do? If you want to be a doctor, okay, go ahead. Like, cause you need to be a doctor.
Yeah. You can't be up in there cutting people up for practice.
Yeah. So I'm like, but if you want to start your own business, do this, and I'm like, I'm gonna have the accounts for you, but like, do you want to use this money to school? You want to use this money towards what you're. I
told my son that same thing. I said, bro, don't go to school for us.
Yeah.
You need to make a decision on what you want to do, and if that requires you going to school, go. But if not, don't waste your money.
Yeah.
Don't waste your money to do it. Find something that you like to do, that you can be good at, that you can be a responsible citizen in the country. Yeah. But don't do it because you feel like the weight is on your shoulders because that's what we want you to do. I think college it's a cool experience for people to, if nothing more, to learn how to deal with different people. Yeah. Because that's what you get. You get people from all over the world on those campuses, and it exposes you to a little bit of what life will be like because you got to deal with people. But man, folks that go to school and they come off of that campus and they don't even know how to exist once they get back because they got a communications degree or a history degree or something. It's like, bro, you about to go work at Burger King. And
the big problem I see is like when you go to school and like you get a business degree, whatever, like you try to apply for jobs, but like 80% of jobs you can't get because you need experience. Right. And like, how are you supposed to get experience when they want you to have
the degree you're talking about.
They want you to have a degree and experience, but like while you're getting a degree, you're not getting experience. So it's like, I'm like, this does not make it. It's crazy. So basically, you're going backwards. You're losing money to not have a job, but you have a degree that they need, but they need experience too. So like, they're not gonna hire you because you don't have experience, but you have a degree. So it's like,
and that's like a lot of kids coming out of college are starting off with a negative net worth.
A lot,
student loans.
Majority of them are.
So like, it's just crazy. And it's like I feel like us are the first generation to stop saying like college is the answer because that's what it's always been.
It's always been college.
Like the past 20, 30 years is college is how you get a job. Like you're not getting a job unless you go to college. Now it's like just start your own business. It's that easy.
Even me growing up, my mom wasn't like that, but she was like, you go to school, you don't have to go to school. But like I went to school, but like also you look at me, I forget talking to my friend. I played basketball in college, so my school was free. Right. So like I'm talking to my friend, I'm like, they're talking about, I have to get some debt down to get. I'm like, I forgot that you're paying $1,100 a month in student loans. I'm like, that's one of the things I'm blessed. I'm like, I didn't have to pay for like any of that. Like I got basketball scholarship, and then for grad school I got like a academic scholarship. So I'm like, school is free, so I don't even think about that.
Right.
But I'm like, imagine if you had to pay whatever
All of that.
You went to USC and you have $400,000 in student loans. It's like,
it's crazy, bro. I try to do loans for people, and I look at it and I'm like, ma'am, is this right? You got $380,000 in student loan?
yeah,
And they're working for the school district.
you're never
It's
gonna.
like,
You're
what in the world?
Especially
you're never going to pay this off.
And from your standpoint, like, you see it a lot because
I see it all the time.
I remember one time, I'll never forget, I was looking at, closing that file, I was looking at, because sometimes you look at 1003, so
Right.
you like to see what does this person do. But so there was two dentists, like they were just graduated, they're married, two dentists. Man, like $700K student loans.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, wow. I'm like, one was like 360, one was like 340 student loans debt. I'm like, man, that.
Probably, half of those classes have nothing to do with their profession.
Yeah.
All.
They should have just skipped the whole first year.
They
and went straight
get all
to-
their experience from the I don't know what it's called, but it's like they have to basically work with a dentist
Oh, yeah,
or whatever
absolutely.
for 2 years before
Right.
they can even actually
Exactly.
do
Yeah,
it.
Exactly.
It's like cut the BS and go straight to like okay, decide if you're gonna be a doctor. Like where is that? Is it Germany or like somewhere places in Europe where you decide like you're gonna go to school or you're gonna work? Like
Right.
like if you're gonna be a doctor, you're gonna stay to be a doctor from right now. Like you're not gonna take
All this extra stupid stuff.
Yeah, you're not gonna be taking home economics your freshman year of college. Yeah, so but that's
That's cool,
interesting
man.
stuff.
That's that's the dilemma. That's where we live. So we'll see. And to your point, Jack, the Zennials, they are. It's a different mindset.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I can start a business, or I can go work with my friend to help them start their business.
Yeah. Someone's starting a business somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody's starting it somewhere. So. Well, shoot, man, Aaron, I appreciate you joining us.
Man, thank y'all for having me. I enjoy coming here, man.
Good discussion.
We had an
Good
Olympics
talk.
discussion without the Olympian, and I'm a little.
Hey, man, it's all good.
Yeah.
If you guys are your own social media, make sure you go and follow Aaron. His information is down in the description.
And it's straight to the cut. Aaron
Straight
looks
to the
good.
cut. There it
Aaron
is.
looks good. So if you want to follow me,
I'm a follow.
Follow it.
It's my Instagram page that looks good because my kids are on there. But me, I'm I'm an old washed up guy getting some gray hair.
Hey,
So
there you go. We all have that bit of hypergamy when it comes to the looks department for our wives especially. So any information you need from us, if you're looking at an opportunity in real estate, you can contact the Olympian. Information down in the description below, and of course mine is there as well. We thank you for joining us. Share, like, subscribe, and tune in with us next week, same time at the table.
yes,
Olympian table.
it was great. We'll talk to you guys next week, and we'll see. Have a great. Was it Thursday? Have a great weekend, guys.
Great weekend.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Y'all take care.
Take care.
not.
Just all over e-commerce trends. This is using the Sensor Tower data. They're able to break down the difference of market share going all the way back to 2000.